Did the Snap Machine just release one of the worst basketball shoes of 2023? Let's find out. What is good, YouTube? It is your boy Stash Tooper, aka the Yuckmeister. And today we are reviewing the one and only Zion 3s. Cue the montage. Like I mentioned, today we are reviewing the Jordan Zion 3s in the Mud, Sweat, and Tears colorway. I like to call it the Gumbo and Gumbo colorway. And just a little bit of information, these go for about $140 before tax and shipping, so depending on where you live, you're probably looking at around $150, $155 total. And always before we get into the reviews, I talk a little bit about sizing, and with these, it's honestly very, very weird, so I'm taking a little longer than usual. Lengthwise, I would easily say that the Zion 3s fit true to size, but in regards to width, I would actually say they're really, really slim. So the problem you run into in this circumstance is if you have normal or wide feet, you probably have to go up a half size to a full size, but when you do that, the length is then gonna be way too long. So for me, I have a normal size foot, and even with these, I run into issues, and laterally, they feel too tight. But if you are gonna get them, you really wanna get them, and you are gonna get them after this review, I would say easily go half size up. So without further ado, let's get into the review. The first thing we always do in our shoe reviews is we look at the looks / swag. Off rip, I will say the silhouette of the Zion 3s are really, really clean and easily the best of the Zion line so far. The slim and sleek silhouette kind of reminds me and a lot of other people of Kobe's, which, you know what, that's a good thing if we're talking about looks. And then on top of this, I really like the colorway that I have in hand, which is teal with hints of this blue and red fading back and forth. Me likey that. And then on top of this, the shoe is very detail oriented, a lot of very intricate details in the looks, which honestly I'm a big fan of. And then on top of everything, it is just a fairly unique shoe, which you guys know, if you know me, I love the unique shoes. So with these, they kind of hit that mark in that futuristic look. So me likey. So overall, I wouldn't say they're one of my favorite hoop shoes in regards to looks, but I would easily say above average. I will give these a solid 8 out of 10 in regards to looks. Next, we move on to the materials. For the upper, the materials consist of a pretty much full textile upper, which is traditional to most basketball shoes. And then it also features this like haptic print, which almost feels like rubber, which is the blue to fading to red material. And then on top of this, the shoe features 2 TPU portions right here and right here that almost sit right on the midsole. And if I'm being 100% honest with you, I think that TPU feels fairly cheap and is placed in a funky spot in my opinion. And on top of everything, I will talk a little bit about the traction material. It is a fairly traditional rubber like any basketball shoe would use that is mostly translucent with a little bit of solid. So overall with the materials of the Zions, I would say I'm not too impressed. For a $140 shoe, I would expect a little more premium-esque feel to them. And this might be me just being critical, but I will give these like a decent 6 out of 10 in regards to materials. Now we move on to the traction. For the Zion 3s, the traction pattern consists of a herringbone traction-like pattern right here, along with a radial-like traction pattern right here, which if I'm being honest with you, is a pretty solid traction pattern setup. But in regards to the performance of this setup, I would say I was not too impressed. Right here, I'll show you a quick traction test, and then I will tell you exactly why I was not impressed with these Zions. So, cue it! As you can see in the traction test, I actually almost ate, I don't want to swear, but I almost fell over, and you could see it was not really biting on the court. Now this may be due to the fact that the court that I hoop on hasn't been cleaned in literally months.
Pinnacle, take care of your floors.
But they did pick up dust really, really quickly. Laterally, I didn't get a lot of traction. Along with that, Just the bite didn't feel up to what I thought it would be with this premium setup. But in regards to the materials, like I mentioned before, feels like a pretty solid rubber outsole made up of a combination of solid and translucent rubber. Overall, I would not use these outside due to the fact that the grooves aren't too deep, but inside you should be pretty solid in regards to durability. So for the traction, I'm gonna easily say that these are maybe like a 6 out of 10 in regards to traction. I was not a big fan of them. Next, we move on to the cushion. Now for the cushion setup of these Zion 3s, they actually feature a very Kobe-like setup. If I can even get this midsole out. And what I mean by this is they feature a drop-in midsole.
Like most Kobe's did.
And for this midsole, it is primarily made up of their Formula 23 foam cushion, which is Jordan's foam cushion setup. And on top of this, they have a little bit of a Zoom air unit in the forefoot, which does feel rather hot. In regards to the actual performance and feel of this cushion setup, I would say it does feel pretty good. Nothing crazy like the way of Wade 10s or LeBron 21s, but for $140, I would say it is a fairly solid cushion setup. It gives you a good amount of cushioning while also giving you a good amount of court feel, which is something I am personally a big fan of. So for the cushion, I'd say above average, solid 8 out of 10. We like that. Next, we move on to support. As I mentioned earlier, the Zion 3s feature some support technologies such as the side TPU plates right here and right here, alongside that TPU plate within the midsole. So with all this technology, you may be thinking, you know what? The support on these should be actually phenomenal. Thank you. But I will say that the support is easily the worst part about this shoe. You'd think since it's Zion, his 400-pound self, they would want to give him a pretty solid support setup, but to my surprise, they didn't. The TPU plates feel very narrow and honestly hurt my foot pretty bad. I plan on returning these. And on top of this, because the shoe is narrow, it doesn't give you a good foundational support and you're more likely to kind of tip side to side and roll your ankle. I haven't rolled my ankle since using these, but it is easily known that you can roll them since they are more narrow. 5 out of 10 in regards to support, maybe even lower than that if I wasn't in such a jolly mood. And then lastly, we always talk about the weight of the shoe. Now, I'm not going to get out of scale. If you know me, I've never done that. But just off of the feel of the shoe, I would say they feel pretty average in regards to other hoop shoes. So out of 5, I will give these a 3 out of 5, keeping it brief for y'all. So overall, the Zion 3s get an atrocious rating of 6.5, which for those who don't know, is the worst rating of a shoe review that I think I've ever done. Now, I may be just going way too harsh, and I may not like them that much because I don't have a narrow foot. Maybe if you do have a narrow foot, you will like these. But from my personal experience, man, I will say that these shoes are not at all worth $140. The shoe hurt a lot. I tried to break them in as much as I could, and I think I did, and they still hurt my foot to wear. Way too slim. Lateral support just is not there. And then the traction on the court that I use is really horrible. So I do not have many things that I actually like about this shoe. If you're thinking about getting them and you want to get them and you have narrow feet, I'd say, you know what, you could take your chances. But overall, I would give you guys the go ahead to say, do not get these shoes, which is the first time I've ever said that. Do not get these shoes. I'm not really a fan of them. But you know, if you don't want these shoes and you want a pair of KD 16s, I'm giving those away. If you want to possibly win a pair of KD 16s, I am doing a giveaway this month on this YouTube channel where I will be giving away a pair of KD 16s. If you want to enter, all you got to do is be subscribed to the channel. If you're already subscribed, that's perfect. And then on top of this, you got to comment under any video I post this month your shoe size along with your favorite part about that given video. So for this video, you could say those Zion 3s aren't that good, size 12. That's one entry into the giveaway. And you can enter under multiple different videos that I post this month, and that'll be multiple entries into the giveaway. Higher chance at winning shoes. And I will be announcing the winner of that giveaway on December 1st. So good luck to everyone. Please go enter. Please comment, like. I love that. But I appreciate y'all for watching this far because not a lot of people do. If you could like, comment, subscribe, I would appreciate it immensely. Hope y'all have a good one. I'm going to do my best too. Adios.